I'd say a role as a special teams coordinator, sometimes it might go overlooked. I think a lot of times people take for granted the field position, and how important that is to a ball game. If you look at the numbers of it, if an offense starts with the ball across the 50, they've got like a 60% higher chance of scoring. And sometimes people don't always think about that. Usually special teams are the ones you don't think about till something goes wrong, or something goes really right. My role is, to get these guys in the best position to be successful. And Coach Spears done a great job putting a huge emphasis on it this year. We've had a lot of buy-in from the staff, a lot of buy-in from the guys, and that comes with having a more mature football team. If it's important to you to be a great wideout, it's important to you to be important on punt. And those guys have really bought into that. And I would just say, the buy-in and my role is just, I'm going to do my best job I possibly can to put those guys in the best situation to be successful. And, at the end of the day, they're going to go do it. They're going to execute the schemes, but they believe in them, and that's what's important. And, I'd say that's probably my biggest role is just win the field position battle. That's what it's all about.
And just consistency and everything mental, just getting it all right in your head and not feeling too much pressure, just going out there and focusing on doing what we can do.
Honestly, this year is probably the best I felt going into a season, everybody, because each battle is so close, really. On the punter, we're not going to go wrong either way we go with either Destry or Ian. And kickers, they both have been doing great. I think mainly it's just consistency, who can find consistency. And Coach Mills is doing this new thing with GPA, like punters going from the numbers to the sidelines, to A, and numbers to the hash, to B, and everything else to F. It's a great way to keep them accountable, make sure they're always kicking where they need to be. And that also helps me and the other people covering, so we're cutting down the field so we don't have to worry about the whole field.
Just the grading system, it really just gives you instant feedback of how you're doing, you know what you need to do better, you know what you're doing bad. It really just gives us, an idea of what we really think is going to happen come game time, and it just gives a reality to it.
If you had to ask me today who the starting punter was, I couldn't tell you. Between Ian and Destry, they both do a heck of a job. It's one day it's Ian, one day it's Destry, and they're back and forth, which is great because competition, it just pushes each other to be better. And their guys, they might split snaps during the course of a game. But it's a good problem to have. I probably got two guys that would start on most Division I football teams. And the good thing is they get along, they compete. They're bought in, and some of them are a little bit better at other things, but they're both good at the majority of the things we ask them to do. So that's been fun. It's a good problem to have. You don't have to worry about a guy pulling a hamstring, rolling an ankle, and then, we're out here having punt and tryouts on a Sunday. So that makes it easy. They're fun. They compete. They do a great job, both of them. They're bought into the scheme. They push each other. They grade each other, with our grading system. And, they both do a great job. I feel very fortunate. It's a great problem to have.
I think mainly just consistency, That's all really kicking is just staying consistent. If we mess up, everybody sees it. So just making sure it goes through the field goal post is the main thing we need to focus on, really.
I've really been focusing on consistency, and that's a big thing Coach Mills preaches is consistency and getting the ball outside the numbers. And competition really makes us both better. It pushes us to be the best that we can be all the time. And I really worked this summer on, keeping my drop straight and everything, like keeping it, not trying to get too far outside or too far inside. And I went and worked with Brandon Kornblue over the summer, and he really helped me out with working on my consistency and everything.
Richard Sigmund, he was kind of steady Eddie for us, and you don't really think about it until you lose a guy like that. And he graduates, and then you have a battle going. I think it's back and forth. It's tit for tat right now between Blake and Logan. They're both very talented. The biggest thing with those guys is, the mental aspect of it. And I try and have one-on-one meetings with those guys and talk a lot about, don't let your mind get in the way of having a great day. If you walk out there and you're saying, hey man, I might miss this kick, my plant foot's off, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about the rush, this, that, and the other, they just need to focus on what their job is and how they know how to do it and that they can do it well. So we put a big emphasis on that, and I just let them play, and I think that, for a kicker is the best thing you can do, because the worst thing they can do is think. So those two guys are battling out. It's neck and neck. I'd say Logan, he's got a good leg. I know Blake's going to help us on kickoffs. He's got a great leg on that. But Logan's got a bright future here, and I think Blake's set to have a great season here too.
I think this summer was a big preparation year for me. So I think BMI at SIG gave me a chance to, work on my form and everything and get prepared for when I had the opportunity to go in there and shine like he did for a few years.
I think they would say that I demand a lot out of them. I demand a lot of consistency. You know, I know that, you know, they have a huge role, and I talk a lot to those guys about doing their 111th. You know, I mean, and their position can win or lose a ball game potentially. You know, so their 111th might be the most important 111th on that field in that given game. Me, I'm hard on these guys, but I coach them. You know, I'm a young coach. I coach them like I'm their older brother. You know, I want to be hard on them. I'm going to demand a lot out of them. I won't let anything slip. You know, I'm an intense guy, but I'm a competitor, and I'm fortunate to coach a bunch of guys that are competitors. You know, I'm truly blessed with that.
Coach Mills is all about good character and everything. He wants us to be good men, and I respect that and everything, and I'm just trying to do my best for Coach, and I'll do what I can.
Coach Mills is great. Always entertaining, first of all. The special teams meetings are always fun. But he does require you to do your job and do it to the best of your ability. Like I said, our job's a little more pressure trying to be perfect, like you said, because everyone will notice if you mess up, bad snap, a bad kick, and you don't want to let your teammates down. Because they're working their butt off to get down the field and get those points. But Coach Mills is great. We know he cares about us. But like I said, he does bring intensity and demand the best of you.
He's really high intensity. He really pushes us really hard, and you know, he does a really good job of keeping us on task and keeping the balls consistent, like with A's, B's, and our grading is really important.
He's definitely the driving force behind us all. You know, he'll be the first to tear you up when you do bad, and he'll be the first to congratulate you when you do good. So just that kind of coaching experience really makes it a pleasure to play for Western Carolina.